In the previous lesson, we saw how we can set up and search various terms and have a response sent back from our Twitter search. So we've got various objects and we've got the statuses coming in, and all of the tweets are under statuses. So we're ready to build out the next part of our application, and that's going to be a function in order to handle the outputs of the tweets. So function output tweets, grab that data because we're doing that within that fetch object. And instead of console log, let's take that data and we're going to output that. And we're also going to break this down as well because we only want to get the statuses. So let's keep that as statuses. And let's make sure that everything is still working properly. So we'll output our data. So let's refresh, type in a term, search. So there we go. So we get it as an array. So we get an array length there and array of different tweet objects that's coming in. So let's plan out how we want to output them onto our page. So let's clear out what we have within output. So we call that to just blank there. And I know we don't have anything an output yet, but if we're doing multiple searches, then we want to always clear out what's already existing before we try to add to that. And data, we can use for each, because we're going to loop through all the items. Function, so grab in the item. We can also grab the index as we loop through. So we'll create a hyperlink out to each one of the links. So let hyper, and this is where we can set up our link. I'm going to use the backticks templating format. So href. And then the address is https:// twitter.com/i/web. I know this is fairly long, but status. And then this is where we can specify a status ID that we want to use. And we know that we're already passing all of that information out. So let's do item. So item is where we're looping through. So that's going to contain that entire object. And we can do item ID and underscore string to get that value output there. And we're going to close that off and target so that we open it up on a new page. So target is blank. And then let's use the template again. So item text. So this is going to be the actual whole tweet. And let's, for now, let's just append. So do output, append, so append child. And we'll add in hyper in there. Let's try this out. Refresh, test. And let's also make sure, so as we loop through, console log out each item. So that we actually get some type of output. So there we go. So we get all of these items here. And let's see, maybe, so we've got it as item. And there's the ID string. So make sure that we got that proper. So that looks good. We are able to grab those. So let's finish this up, and we're going to actually create elements here. So we're going to create different list items. So do a list item. So it's document, create element. And the element that we want to create is a list item. And then also let's create a span. So let and document create element. And this one's a span as well. So create one of those. And then within the span, let's add and update our inner HTML. So this is going to be the contents of that span. So use the backticks again. And this should actually be curly bracket. So, because we're calling over to our variable hyper. And a little bit of HTML. So item, user, and dot name, because we had to go 2 levels down for this one. So if you look at the way that this tweet object works is that we've got all of this information here. So we go down all the way to user, and then if we want to get the user's name, whoever actually tweeted it, we just go to their name, which is sitting here. So that's 1 level down. So user and then name. That's where I got the username. And let's close this off by small. So we've built that into the span. And then let's do one more thing here that we need to append child to the list item. And then we're going to append that list item to that output. So update this, save. So there we go. So we get all of that content gets listed out. Well, we can make this bigger, of course. So these are the 5 different tweets. And if we click one of these tweets, we see that we open up that tweet object. So we can really easily click and link to any one of these tweets. And of course, every time we search, I know test is obviously a very well included term within text. So we've got test there and so on, test. So a number of places. So there we go. So we're able to search Twitter for various terms. So let's clean up our code, save that. And next, let's make this look a little bit nicer so that it's not looking like a bunch of list items. And we can also extend the amount of tweets that we're getting back as well. So we could include it to 10 or 15 or whatever we want. So go ahead and try this out for yourself. And as long as you've got the routes, then outputting it within the HTML is fairly straightforward. And sometimes, depending on what content you want to access, you have to go down and navigate through multiple levels until you can get the right content. But it's all right there, and there is a ton of content. There really is a lot of information here. And if you can navigate this one, all of the other JSON API data should be fairly straightforward and easy once you get the hang of this one.